What's up, guys, and welcome back for another solo mining episode. We're going to be looking at Veldspar and Null-Sec today. So yeah, it's not going to be crazy cool ore, but more or less just how to source kind of like your Plag and your Scordite and your Veldspar, kind of like your traditional like high sec stuff, but in much larger quantities and kind of all in one place. Now we're not in the normal system we operate in. We go out to find these anomalies, and then we will just do multiple prospect runs and then compress it all and then bring it all back and refine. And we try to do as much as we can. Our goal for this video or for this mining session is to, kind of refill our trit, mexilon, or pyrite kind of foundation for manufacturing. As you can see here, this is the anomaly. It's huge. It's like 250 kilometers from end to end or something like that. It's pretty crazy. You have a bunch of different Plag in here. You have a bunch of different Veldspar and Scordite. We're kind of focusing on the higher end Plag right now, but then also Veldspar as well. Trit is something we just absolutely need a really good base of. But I'll go over the fit a little bit later in this video. Nothing really special. Kind of not too much different from what you see in other videos. We are using crystals on this, so simple type B2s, because there's a lot of ore out here. I really do like the increased cycle time. My cycles are like 144 seconds unboosted. Now, normally I can bring the porpoise with me, but in most cases I like to kind of chill and just kind of travel with the prospect by itself. It makes it just super easy. We're actually kind of in the middle of all these rocks, and so we're still, cloak eligible if anything happens. This is a lot less of a trafficked system than where we're kind of based out of for PI and stuff, which is really nice. I kind of like the idea of moving around to different systems to do the different types of things we need to get, because it kind of makes it to where we're not mining in the same system every day. We're not too predictable and everything like that. But we're just going to kind of show the down and dirty. We're almost filled up right here. We'll probably cut these cycles here in a few seconds. And then what I normally do is I'll just go and drop this stuff in an Athanor or the Jatara. There's a Jatara in this system, so we'll just compress it and stock it there, and then we'll just head right back out and kind of keep doing the same thing. So we're gonna go ahead and cut cycle here, and that should actually be good enough. All right, so I brought two ships out just to kind of show how this can scale a little bit, and also just get a little bit more going on here. But normally I don't spend a whole lot of time on the Veldspar deposit here, because we do have Calixium and stuff like that, which is good for Mexilon, Pyrite, and Trit. But coming out here, just getting straight Veldspar is nice, because that just kind of blitzes the Trit income here. So I'll probably go a few more rounds with these two ships and then kind of call it a day. I don't try to stay in this system too long, just because my PI is in a different area. So at the beginning of every day, I need to kind of have those guys all back where they can do that kind of stuff. But it's definitely easy just to go to these different anomalies as needed and everything. And I figured I'd show this anomaly. I don't think I've covered this one before. Another thing you can do here is you can still use prospects and stuff, but you could also bring a porpoise out with you. That would allow you to actually boost and then potentially compress if you wanted to, and just kind of improve your quality of life or something. If you're compressing, then I would say just don't even worry about moving stuff into the porpoise. You can actually put the porpoise at max boost range, and have it away from zero. That way you can kind of speed up the prospect's mining, but also periodically, as you fill up, you can just cycle your industrial core and let the mining ships just kind of compress everything down. And then it's 75 seconds of vulnerability technically, but if you've got eyes and adjacent systems, you can kind of see what the situation is around you. That's very manageable. I'll probably end up doing some configuration like that, in the coming videos, kind of show you how that operation kind of works. And that's just really nice, because you can kind of stay out here for an extended amount of time. And I try to come back from these, I guess, expeditions, as you could call them, with as many compressed units as possible that I can fit in the prospect. Usually don't come back with a full, 12,000 cubic meter of compression on this stuff. That would be great. It just takes too long. It's 144 seconds per cycle per laser on these prospects. And so adding mining boosts definitely can help that whole situation. But I do have these guys separated too. They're far enough away from each other and anything else that if we do have like a neutral come in, we can just cloak up, and if they pass through, then we can just decloak and go back to mining. Or if they don't leave, if they just kind of camp, then we still have the option to kind of get off grid while remaining cloaked. So it's still very important, like no matter what kind of mining you're doing, to always have like a safe nav, even if it's like a system that you kind of go to maybe only once a week. Start getting those safe navs put together, and that just allows you to have options. And you always want to have a game plan. Every time I'm out mining, I always have an escape plan. Essentially, you're always prepared for quick, quick actions and stuff. Most of the time, a lot of ships I'm using for mining are fast enough that even a fast tackle ship coming in to local, we're still able to cloak and get off grid with plenty of time. The other thing you want to kind of look at with these anomalies as well too is like when you get to the anomaly, when you start doing your bookmarks or whatever for the day, kind of look at what the distance from the anomaly is to like the gates. I love anomalies that are like beyond max D-scan range. That gives you even more of a cushion. That basically just means that like if a tackle ship comes into system and they're on gate and they immediately start D-scanning, they can't immediately see like what is going on in the system or it was on the anomaly. They have to kind of like move to the center of the system, move to the star, and then kind of D-scan along the way before they really kind of show you on D-scan. And with this strategy, by the time that happens, the second you see somebody in local, and if you're beyond D-scan range, you just cloak up. By the time they can get you on D-scan, there's nothing to get because you're cloaked up. So you're kind of concealing what you're doing and everything. Now, I've talked about this in the past with rats and stuff like that. A lot of the systems I'm mining in these days don't have asteroid belts, so we don't have rats. But if you are in high sec or low sec or in a null-sec system that you get rats in the anomaly, it's very, very important that if you're killing those rats, to try to salvage those wrecks, because those wrecks can leave information, right? Even if you're out there trying to do, even if you're doing everything correctly, comes in local, and you're getting off grid, you're cloaking. If you leave wrecks on grid, then that just shows as an indicator of where there's been potential mining going on. So I try to leave no information behind as possible. But that's going to be pretty much it for this video. I don't want it to be a too long of a video, just kind of like showing you the kind of Veldspar, the trick kind of, blitzing here in Null-Sec. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next one.